Good morning, guys. And my name is Dr. Chinwe Igwe, and I am back with a bang. A couple of years ago, is it a couple of years? No, 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I started this Facebook page with the aim of adding value to lives and being able to contribute to people's self-development. And then over time, I narrowed it down to relationship matters. But along the line, I went through a series of, crises that made me doubt the authenticity of the messages I was sending out there. It made me doubt or question, not really doubt. It made me question the resonance and the authenticity of my content. Why? Because at the time I was seeking answers too. I was looking for answers. As earlier mentioned, I went through a lot of changes. I was and crisis in my life that had me really seeking answers. So I'm back now, and I needed to heal. Healing needed to take place. I needed to get in touch with my manual. And now that I'm back, I want to use this platform to share some of the answers I got with you guys and to share the process and how I got to those answers with you. So my content might be different from what it used to be, but it's still the same aim, the same intention to add value to you, to be your coach as we do life and adulting, like they say. So this morning, I want to talk about something I have been reflecting on as I was setting my intention for the day. It's entitled Finding Your Manual. And it began sometime last week, when I was having this chat with one of my postgraduate students. And we were talking about COVID-19 and all, that's going on. So, and I said to him that I feel like COVID-19 happened so that a lot of people can find their manual. Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, I totally understand that there is a context to everything. And there is a context to what I'm saying, to why I'm saying that COVID-19 happened so that a lot of us, most of us, can find our manual. Now, think of it this way. If you're a Christian or a Muslim or whatever your belief system is embedded in, there is usually a creation story. There's usually a story that comes with how we all evolved and, came into the universe or to be on earth. For most people, we were created by God and all of that. But whatever story you believe, there is a link to creation, to how we were being created. There is a connection with how we were created and what our purpose here on earth is. And two things are very clear. When we were created, we were created with the DNA of the Creator. When we were birthed, everything, our life's purpose, everything we were supposed to be and do were part of our DNA. So it was already in us at the time we were born. But we got to earth rather, and then we became socially conditioned by our environment and by our social context, by our community and the people we relate to. And a lot of us now tend to forget this manual that we came with, right? Now, the Bible says that we were created in the image and the likeness of Christ, which means if we're created in his image and likeness, it means that we carry his DNA, right? It means that, and what is DNA? It's those molecules, the things that are, in our bodies that carry the gene of our parents. So it means that your perception of God could also be your reality. So if you see God as this almighty, as this all-knowing, person, as this infallible, then it means that you have the seed, that same seed, to be able to achieve the same things He did. But because you have been on earth, you have not really been able to tap into that side of you, that's to the side of you that can actually do those things you were conditioned or you were programmed to do. Now, let's hold that thought right there and go back to how I came about this thinking. I like to start with a story. So when I was in the university, in Lagos State University, it was the first time I was leaving my home, a young little girl just going out there to start her life. I somehow happened to be in a place where there was no electricity. So I got this little generator. Most of you who live in Nigeria know, our stories with generators and load shedding. Well, we call it load shedding here in South Africa. So, and NEPA, blackouts and all of that. So we didn't have electricity for a long time. Yeah. You'll be so shocked to know that some places in Lagos, like Igondo and all of that, could go without power supply for a very long time. So I found myself there and I wasn't happy. I mean, as a student, how are you going to study and all that? So I got this generator, this little generator. But I couldn't start it, and I was told that it was that it was a sort of upgrade to I passed my neighbor, but I couldn't start it, and they said it had a key. I did everything, but I didn't read the manual. I just skimmed the manual and threw it. Then I ran to call, and so as I was pulling the generator to start it, the wires snapped, and I ran to this mechanic. The mechanic came and looked around and did everything he could, and because of course he's experienced, and he's supposed to be coached literally. Then he said to me, "Madam, where the manual?" I was like, "Okay, where the manual?" Yeah. So at that point, I said, "The manual is there." So we looked at the manual. He said, "I've really worked on a lot of generators, but I never see this kind before. So let's look at the manual." So as I was reflecting this morning, I remembered that story. I was, setting my intentions for the day and, having positive affirmations. And then I said to myself, oh my God, what if COVID-19 happened so that a lot of us can start looking for answers inside us, so that we can start tapping into our manual, so that we can start. A lot of us are cerebral. As an academic, I tend to look for answers in my intellect and in my mental being. But the message I was getting was that no, maybe COVID-19 happened so that we can all embark on a personal retreat, so that when the noise is off, we can sit with that part of us that we are so scared of. We can sit with the totality of our experiences, our social conditioning, and begin to question it. We can start asking questions, those questions that we tend to run away from. I did an exercise with my students. I have what is known as the Writers Clinic. I did an exercise with my students. That was the beginning. I was trying to teach them mindfulness. And most of them have anxieties and mental health issues. So we did that exercise. And I said to them, sit alone for 15 minutes. They couldn't do it. They said to me, no, Dr. Igwe, the thoughts, it just comes flooding in and everything. So maybe we've all been running away from our thoughts. We've all been running away from the questions we ask. Some people used to drown those questions with alcohol. Some drown it with sex. Some drown it with all sorts of proclivities and habits. Some sleep their wrists. Some women seek answers through prostitution. Some do it. And then we have an entire society judging people and not knowing that these are people simply are seeking answers. But they're not seeking those answers in the right way. They're trying to numb that voice. Now, they seem to forget that it is that manual saying, read me, read me. The discontent, that void, that emptiness is the manual you came with. That manual within you is saying, Hello, I'm here. I hold the answers. Just look inside. But we're like, no, if I look inside, I'm going to unearth a lot of stuff. What am I going to do with them? But the thing is, we cannot, the process of healing begins when we are able to look inwards, when we are able to look for those answers within, when we look for the manual. Just like the mechanic said to me, Madam, make we look the manual. We looked at them, we now looked at the manual and realized that, oh, okay, actually, I wasn't supposed to pull it. All I was supposed to do is turn the key. And that the why I was there for, when we changed a particular knob to make it manual. So it was automatically wired to respond to that key. And I remember that incident this morning. I said, oh my God. So a lot of us go through life seeking validation from outside, seeking affirmation from the wrong sources, seeking answers from people who are supposed to be coaches. They don't even have the answers. And most of those coaches, of which I am one, position themselves as the ones with the answers, misleading a lot of people and making them assume that the answers are out there. I'm telling you guys today that the answers are not out there. The answers are within you. All you need to do is tune into yourself, get familiar, get comfortable with the noise within. And as you begin to quieten that noise within, you'll begin to get clarity. The manual will begin to speak. And then you can trust your hunch. A lot of us are very intuitive, but we don't trust our intuition. Okay, no. Why? Because maybe 2 days ago or last year you trusted your intuition and then you went the wrong way. But we also know that when you ignore that intuition, it could go the other way too. Now the universe is saying, tune in, tune in. Look at that manual. We all came with our own manual. There is no one size fits all for it. What works for the other person wouldn't work for the others. And if you look at it, I'm a development practitioner. It's the same thing when the World Bank and the rest of them come with all this one size fits all approach to the problems of Africa. It doesn't work. They spend a lot of money. It didn't work. Why? Because what worked in Jamaica, what worked in Mexico, or what worked in other low and middle income countries might not necessarily work in Africa because of the intersection of a lot of other factors. And it's the same thing with you as a human being. What works for me might not work for you, which is why you need to look into your DNA, look into your manual, look into that manual that you came with into the world. The most of my videos and most of my teachings are usually around knowing yourself, because I believe that when you get to know yourself and begin to get comfortable in yourself, then you can actually get to be willing to get to know other people. There are people who have refused to forgive themselves for mistakes they've made. And it's almost like each time they sit down, to just sit by themselves, the mistakes start jumping out. Okay, last year you did this. And the thing is, because we're unable to be merciful or gracious to ourselves, we find it difficult to do the same thing for others. And for those people who are looking for love outside, love lives inside you. When you love yourself, when you learn to love yourself, get in touch with every aspect of your life and every part of you, then you'll begin to love other people. So to summarize, all I'm saying is this: get in touch. Don't misuse this COVID retreat, because it's not going to last long. Use this opportunity, that solitude that it brings, this alone time you have, use it to look inside. Set intentions. Ask yourself questions. What answers am I seeking? What answers am I looking for? What do I want the universe to tell me? What is that thing? You're looking for, I've had people telling me, oh, I don't know what I was born to. Look inside you. The answer is there in your hunch. The answers we seek are not in our mental being. That's why that's maybe part of some of the perks. The answers some of us seek are not in our intellectual being. It's in our essence. It's in our soul. And the soul is where passion lies. So you look trying to figure out what jobs to do, what to do, where do I go in? Trust your hunch and don't have a fixed mindset. I'll see you guys again. Bye.